If you clicked on this video, it's because you want to get out there, see the world, and travel solo for the first time, but you're not really sure where to go. And we're going to talk about that right now. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Art, but you can call me Gringo, and I've been traveling the world for about 9 years now. I visited 47 countries as a solo traveler, and now I want to help you go on your own epic travel adventures. And stick around because later I want to give you my #1 tip for making friends on the road. And by the way, it's Friday morning and I am on the mountains behind my Airbnb doing this pretty sick solo hike. I think I'm gonna have to come up here more often. So today we're talking about traveling solo to a new country, and I would actually like to recommend where it all started for me, and that was Thailand. Here are a few reasons why I think it could be your ultimate solo travel experience. And today I am going to assume that you are predominantly an English speaker. This seems like a pretty cool spot. Talk about Thailand. So first off, tourism in Thailand has been booming for many years now, and that means that people in the tourism sector speak pretty decent English, which would facilitate the language barrier for you. Another reason that Thailand is great for solo traveling is because there are lots of other solo travelers, meaning that you really won't run into any trouble meeting people to keep you company during your trip. And since it is such a breathtaking country, there will always be something worth seeing in Thailand, and just visiting the island regions alone will keep you very busy for a while. Another reason that Thailand is great for solo traveling is the affordability. I know that's a big factor for me. And solo traveling can often be more expensive than traveling with a partner, especially when we're talking about housing. But Thailand offers loads of budget-friendly accommodation options. The backpacking culture in Thailand is really strong, and that means that there are tons of hostels anywhere you go. And if you've been paying attention to the channel thus far, you know that hostels are the best places to make new friends. And lastly, Thailand is very safe. I'm not saying you're not going to run into any scams, of course, because unfortunately that's just a part of traveling, but most people feel very secure in Thailand. And if I've convinced you that Thailand is a great place to start your solo travels, but you're considering being on the road for a little longer, I would 100% recommend doing the classic Southeast Asian backpacker route of Thailand, Laos, Cambodia, and Vietnam, aka the banana pancake route or the elephant pants trail. I mean, this is a rite of passage for any solo traveler, and what's interesting about it is that you're going to meet tons of people doing the exact same route in either direction, so you will be coincidentally running into them at every hostel you stay in. And if you end up meeting someone pretty cool, you can just take them under your wing and continue to hang out with them for weeks on end. And although I won't be talking about each of these countries specifically today, I can guarantee you they are all worth going to. And essentially, it was during this route that I got bit by the travel bug. Real bad. The whole itinerary on this trail is extremely budget friendly, and there's a little bit of everything for everyone, meaning that it's an exciting mix of partying, of course, nature, and UNESCO World Heritage Sites. By the way, this trail is much more thorny than I expected. I'm like picking thorns off my leg every 3 minutes or so. And in the case of you feeling a little homesick during the banana pancake route, you will find loads of Western style establishments to bring you that comfort that you need, because let's face it, sometimes only McDonald's does the trick. My next suggestion for you to begin your ultimate solo travel experience was the second country that I lived in during the beginning of my travels, and what an amazing 2 years I had in New Zealand. I mean, it's your first solo travel. Why not make it easy on yourself and just go to a place where they speak English, right? Although New Zealand is definitely not the cheapest suggestion that I'll give you today, I'd say it's probably the safest. The Kiwis are extremely friendly, and actually the country is one of the hitchhiking capitals of the world. I was constantly hitching a ride back home after the bars on the weekend because I lived up a really steep hill. And if you're trying to get around by yourself, it's also a really easy country to navigate, and that's why it's so popular for road trips. And that's because it's small, there aren't many highways, and you're usually either going south or north. So you can just pick up a camper van and cruise along the whole country. If you are going to travel solo for the first time around New Zealand, but you want some guarantee that you won't be feeling lonely, it could be a good spot for you to try out a group tour situation. I haven't done one myself, but I know there's one called the Kiwi Experience that is extremely popular. That one is mostly for people in their 20s, so of course there's loads of partying going on. So you might feel a little old doing it in your 30s, but there must be other group tour situations catered for people in their 30s and 40s. And some towns on the South Island, like where I lived, Queenstown, man do I miss that place. They're kind of known for being the adventure capitals of New Zealand. So besides snowboarding and hiking, you can do loads of other stuff like bungees and skydives and rafting. There's always an exhilarating distraction in New Zealand. Basically, New Zealand is where you're going to find peace and quiet amongst some of the most beautiful landscapes you've ever seen. And living in Queenstown for 2 years was an opportunity I'm going to cherish for the rest of my life. Now I want to give you that priceless advice on meeting people on the road, and it's actually quite simple, and that is carry around a card game. This video is not sponsored, by the way, although I did reach out to this company. They haven't gotten back to me just yet. But I've run into people playing this card game all over the world, and it's super fun, simple, and easy to carry. It's a speed game called Dobble. I would also suggest 2 other games. One of them is called Jungle Speed, and the other one is your classic Uno. Having card games around is the second best way to meet people while traveling. The first one, honestly, is just to smile and say hello, which is much easier than people make it out to be. And although this video is not sponsored, I have put a few links to those card games in the description if you want to pick one up. And if you do, Amazon just might throw some breadcrumbs my way. Now, if you're considering moving to another country, but you want to stay under a budget of $1,000, I've compiled in this video a list of 11 places where you can do just that. So click on this video that's on your screen and we can talk about it some more. I'll see you over there in 3, 2, 1.